Hi, welcome to my journey. My name is Cherie. Well, here we are again. Take out the trash Thursday. Okay? Now, I've already taken out the trash when it comes to men, right? I've proved that, hey, they're the devil because they're liars. I proved that they're Satan because they're sadistic. I proved that they're Lucifer because they're lustful. Now I guess it's time for me to take out the trash when it comes to these women, right? Like when these women got every iron in the fire, right? They fighting for their men like they man can't fight for the damn self. Oh, wow. Like your man that weak that you got to fight for him? Or is your man a bitch and he's fighting against a woman? Oh, hold on. So, we got these women out here fighting for men as if these men can't fight their own battle. Like, I thought I told you to keep your ass out of this fight. This is a fight amongst the men's, right? Who are they supposed to be fighting for? They're supposed to be fighting for their women. If the women is hiding behind these women as a shield, oh my God, you're gonna die. Bitch, you're gonna die. Hold on. Him using you as a shield does not give you a medal of honor. Not with anybody. Alright? You're not gonna get a Purple Heart. You're not gonna receive any kind of veterans pay. He's not even going to acknowledge you as his general in his army. What I say? You are not even going to be honored as the motherfucking general in that motherfucker's army. All right. Now, if I ain't made that clear, I seen that the majority of women out here are dying broke. They want to say, oh, it's because the women, they outlived the men by 2 or 3 years. Like, what? 2 or 3 years? And now she's devastated and in poverty? Huh? The devil is in the details. And what I tell you, I told you the devil was a liar. Okay? Okay. So, all of this time, you thought that you was supposed to get the house, the remains of, y'all's possessions that you were supposed to own up until when? Up until his many offsprings, whether they're from you or other women, start coming up to claim their inheritance. Yeah. Who told us that? Oh, Anna. Thank you, Anna, for enlightening us about, family members coming out of the woodwork saying that you, as the wife, don't deserve a penny more than the kids. Legitimate or illegitimate. Okay. So, this is why I said, what the hell is going on here? Why? Why are we sitting up here trying to deprive women from giving the kids an inheritance? One of the worst arguments that I heard today was a motherfucker saying, oh, when women make money, they share the money with their kids, as if the kids ain't the family, right? He claims he is taking care of the family because he is purchasing the material things, like that $150,000 truck, that he needs to get back and forth to work, right? And you looking at the truck every weekend trying to wonder why, he ain't doing no hauling with the truck. Why did he buy a truck in the first place? The bed inside of the truck is cleaner than the inside of the truck. Like, what? Anyway. Yeah. So, Here we have people like Hillary and Michelle, you know, who got scholarships. No, you go ahead. You go ahead. And Zelensky, right? At least Lewinsky was out there, you know, utilizing her degree. She was out there working like a real woman, right? Like a real woman does. Now, she couldn't help it, but she was very, very, very biased. All right? She was very, very, very biased. Right? And, you know, in her biasm, right, she became, as a result of that, she became part of the patriarchy. All right? She was working, and became part of the patriarchy. She was a convert. All right? So, yeah. Today, we're trying to Rockstar Plus Zero. I like Rockstar. I do. Now, but you see, what happened to her? She definitely was at least doing some kind of work, because they tried to tar and feather her out of the White House. Okay? They tried to tar and feather Hillary Clinton out of the White House and send her ass to prison. Maybe even execute her for treason. I guess that was up to Clinton whether or not he wanted to keep his wife. He probably told him, man, I don't care how much I cheat, I still love my wife. Right? And so they said, man, this is your last chance, you know. We can get rid of her right now. We can put her on charges for treason. And he said, nah, that's an embarrassment, man. And that's not true. And like, please don't do that. Please don't kill my wife for the patriarchy. Please don't do it. I still love my wife. You know how we are. We just lustful after other women. That don't mean we don't love our wives. All right. Now, when it comes to I gotta put my window up because this guy, he is fucking around with a Corvette with a loud ass muffler, and he want everybody to see him and hear him coming. Yeah, here he is right here. Let me show it to you if I can. See, there he is right there. You'll hear him when he take off. Okay. Now, when it came to Michelle Obama, Michelle was like the Rock, right? And Obama was like the lion in the jungle. You hear it? He got 4 mufflers on the back of that Corvette. 4 mufflers. And so, of course, you know, we're talking about women who are well educated, right? Gave up their careers, right? So they men can stand on their shoulders. Or maybe on top of their head. Maybe. Now, these women want us to believe that being the first lady is a prize, right? Michelle was at Obama's dedication, right? I think they dedicated a stone building to Obama. Kind of like the, anyway, Stonehenge, okay? Anyway, she was like, all you have to do is look at me and see that my man is a good man, right? And we trying to sit up here and can't figure out what the fuck, right? This is why the black woman will always stay down. Okay? Because they don't know when they got it bad. I guess they didn't had it bad so long that they don't know when they got it bad. Right? And how did we know that she had it bad? We know that she had it bad because she was always in the background. Right? She had plenty to say, but the only time she could talk was when she was on a whole different platform by herself somewhere else and her husband wasn't around. That's one thing we know for sure. And number two, how we know again is how the kids turn out. How did the kids turn out? Right? We as in the minorities, the brown and black skinned people out here, we're looking at her kids and we're saying to ourselves, my God, you know, they weren't raised any better than, say, anybody else out here. You would have thought that they would have gotten privileged. Huh? Why didn't they get privileged? Huh? Something to think about, huh? So, could it be that Michelle didn't fit into these circles the way she thought she fitted into these circles? And they was inviting her and the kids over to these circles? That's two. Okay? Number three is we expect the men to take care of their family, not their wife. So when she says something like, all you got to do is look at her and tell that she has a good man, and it's like, we know you guys almost went through a divorce several times. Stop it. Even though it wasn't said, it was felt. Okay? It was felt. Okay. Now, let's move on to something else. Right? Now, what they did to Camilla. What they did to Camilla. Right? Did you women stick with the womanhood, or did you stick with the patriarchy? What did you do? You showed your loyalty to a man that's disloyal to women. So one of my topics today that I sent out there to my Facebook was, why should we be domesticated to men who are uncivilized? Why? I mean, that's their excuse. Their excuse is they couldn't help themselves. You know, they're controlled by their animalistic nature. You know, they're controlled by their addictions. All of these things have to do with animalistic, instinctual behaviors that fall under the category of being uncivilized. Right? Do we talk about their education? Right? Do we talk about anything else besides, you know, their ability to, you know, to manipulate people? Not really. Are they out here writing books? No, but they probably got a ghostwriter that will slap their name on a book upon their approval and split the proceeds with them. Why? Nobody forced them to be literate. Oh, so how can you be literate? How can you be illiterate and civilized? You can't. Everything is done on a contract, right? These men are making nonverbal contracts and don't even realize they're making nonverbal contracts. These men are making verbal contracts, not reading the contract, and then breaking and breaching contracts. Right? Right. So, how can you tell me that they're civilized? Right? Now, a lot of them tried to make it seem like, marriage has been happening since the beginning of time. And I'm like, how was marriage since the beginning of time? What was there documentation, or was it just an act of sex? Tell me what constituted a marriage when they didn't write or have paper because they were too barbaric. Let's throw this shit out with the trash. Throw this shit out with the trash. And let's be honest. Marriage back then was just having sex with a woman and they was married. Men wasn't allowed to have sex with a woman that he wasn't going to marry, that he wasn't married to. He had to first ask permission to even have sex with her from her father. Because a lot of people want to sit up here and act like they don't know what came first, the patriarchy or marriage. Marriage is just a civilized contract made up by the government, right? A spiritual marriage, what is a spiritual marriage? Eye to eye and lust and a little bit of sex. Consensual, right? That's why they leave the word consensual out of it. Whew, it's hot out here. Let me go inside.